My name is Alhaji Ali Ahmad Girema, DIF COA. I representative Haja Nafisa Abdullahi CIF MON MFP, the manager of Africa Agriculture and Agribusiness Loan. I present Nafisa because she went on Umrah pilgrim, which is where she asked me to explain the investment and the interest she received. Our company has a partnership with Katsina State General Agriculture and Agribusiness Cooperative Affairs. Its registration with the federal government and the State Trade Commission. Our program includes investment in business, provide training on fish farming, provide training on poultry farming, provide training on irrigation farming, teaching modern technology on agriculture, receiving contract from company, construction of fish farm, visiting farm to see the progress that is being made, provide loan for agriculture product and money to farmers traders, special advice for summer farmers who have the opportunity to raise fish and chicken, sell the improved seed fertilizer and pesticide to farmers, learn trace bees and snail rearing. According to investment of business, we are offering 100,000 interest for 1 million naira every month. You can invest over 200 million of one time without any problem. We are offering over 100,000 interest of 1 million naira every month. You can invest over 200 million of one time without any problem. We are offering a free box of spaghetti who invested 1 million. Invest your money without any problem. According to fish farming, chicken farming, snail farming, or bee farming, we offer training at affordable price and occasionally. We freebies to those who are invested during 4-week training period. According to Nafisa made especially farming to the fertilizer sector. Also has a special plan in place which will be implemented of her fertilizer company in Damaturu, Yobe State, Nigeria. We also want to employ professionals. Nafisa has focused her attendance on the sector. There is progress being made, especially in fish farming. The fertilizer sector also has a special plan in place which will be implemented of her fertilizer company in Damaturu, Yobe State. We accept all currencies in the world according to their value. We accept deposit from 18 years of age and above. You will need to bring your photo or hairist and account number. Therefore, welcome everyone to their companies. The problem with fish farming is the lack of water, the lack of buyers, and sometimes the higher cost of fish feed. However, I have seen many people struggling with it. In the poultry sector, we are also facing problems such as higher poor condition and the lack of knowledge about the best medicine to use. I, Ali Ahmad Girema, advise all investors to consult experts to get the best results, thereby avoiding losses and the challenge. In the summer farmers sector, there is also a problem of pests and lack of knowledge of the correct type of seeds. I, Ali Ahmad, urge summer farmers to consult experts to make profit, and others like Nafisa Adeleke, Zainab Emmanuel, investor, Pastor Machu and his family. We are looking for a way to bring about the change. We will also contact the farm of former President Olusegun Obasanjo farm in Ota, Ogun State, to know how to do the cultivation of poultry, fish, snail, and coffee. By God willing, we wish everyone. My name is Ali Ahmad Girema, Binda Local Government, Katsina State. I present Nafisa about this program at Basho Hall, Asaba Delta State, Nigeria.
Taking them overseas, what are their interests, what is the procedure and whatever. But they are not partnering with airlines on the lithium hub. That's a farm goods.
My question actually goes to Bank of Agriculture and Exim Bank. In terms of support to farmers, we would like to know the amount that for 2017, how much was given out to farmers to support them in the bid to drive the agricultural revolution. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Just before we take the next round of questions, maybe we should just quickly take answers to that from Nexim and BOE.
Yeah, a major challenge that I think all of us will know about is the logistics of moving things out of this country. It's a major challenge. When you talk about, if you're doing international trade, the easiest way to move things is by sea. Because you are moving heavy duty things. But unfortunately, in this country, we have not had it easy. Most of the major shipping lines are foreign shipping lines. So what that means is if you want to move something from Nigeria to Ghana, for an example, because for us, anything across the border is export. If you want to move something from here to Ghana and you want to use Max line, for an example, you have to go to Europe and now come back. We know it's a challenge. However, from our own side, to facilitate movement of goods within the West Coast, we initiated, I would say, public-private partnership. There's a project that we currently have that we are pioneering that we call C-Link. We are working with other stakeholders in shipping or in shipping business. NIMASA, Nigerian Shippers Council, the federal government, the government of some of the countries, of the routes that we have identified. And we have gone found that it's called C-Link project. What it's going to do is to help exporters minimize that challenge that you go through in trying to use the international shipping lines. It will make it easier for you it will be shorter for you in terms of duration. It will also be more cost effective, we believe. It would encourage intra-regional trade. So we are working on that and we have something. However, government on its own, I know also, they are working towards minimizing the challenge of movement of goods within Africa and the other parts of the world.
Right, thank you, sir. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so somebody wanted to know how much has been disbursed so far to farmers in between 2016 and 17. Out of the initial about 250 billion intervention fund, development intervention in the agri sector, primarily through the Anchor Borrowers program, will be close to about 100 billion so far. And out of that, we have, like I said earlier, we've seen an increased production by close to 80% in rice production. That in itself, between 2016 and 2017, saved the federal government over $700 million, close to $800 million in foreign exchange. And that is still rising. With the Commodities Association scheme, for example, with Rice Farmers Association, rice production will even increase further than where we are. Like I said, we are looking at by end of the year to very early next year, we shouldn't be importing rice. And we want to do the same with other commodities. So the disbursement is still ongoing. And within the first quarter this year, we've already disbursed close to another 50 billion. And that is still growing. So now with growing awareness, with a lot of people going into agricultural production, or in fact, indeed in any of the aspects of the value chain, money will be made available, and as more money that is spent will increase opportunities in the area of job creation, and other impacts in the economy. Thank you.
My name is Anthony Awon. I write for Leadership Newspaper. I have two questions, and both of them are directed to Bamishola Olajide. The first one has to do with the scope of MTFC. Most of the activities, from what I have observed here, seem to focus on large-scale farmers. I would like to know if they have any consideration, targeting the peasant farmers. That is one. Then the second question has to do with Dubai. I think she has been able to explain very, very well why they have gone to Dubai, which is quite good. I would like to know too if they are looking at any other country, across the globe. If there is any other country that is in that area where they can link Nigerians farmers. Thank you very much.
Your first question about the focus is on large-scale farmers. That's not actually the focus. The focus is on all farmers actually. So what we've done with the small-scale farmers is we've been having a lot of interactions with cooperatives especially, because the demand from the UAE is quite a lot. So it's a market of $100 billion US, and for Nigeria, our target for MTFC is let us take 1% of that, and 1% is we're talking about $1 billion US. So we are actually, that's why we are working with the likes of Farm Crowd, the EFX, and a lot of cooperatives as well. So where we can aggregate a lot of smallholder farmers to come together under one umbrella, and then we can, once we get, let's say, an order from an off-taker, we can tell them this is the standard, this is what's required of you, with aggregation. And one thing that we are also pushing is collaboration. It can't be done individually, and that's why we've also done the intra-African trade as well. So it even means that we have to, work with people from Rwanda, people from Ghana, people from Kenya, to be able to deliver to the Dubai market. Then we have to do that. So the focus is on all farmers, large scale, small scale, medium sized farmers. And also, talking about which other market are we looking at, our focus is actually the GCC region, but we are starting with the Dubai because that's where we have our presence. And Dubai is a very strategic location. It's actually a logistic hub that people do trade through to other GCC regions like Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi, Oman, and Qatar. So we're also talking to key stakeholders from those regions as well. All of them will be coming from those different regions to Dubai to start this discussion. But let's start from Dubai as well. So even we talk to investors, invest in warehouse in Dubai, because that way you can now actually trade to other GCC regions. And why our focus is not in Europe, America, why GCC is a desert. They already have food insecurity, and then their policies, their standards are not as stringent. They don't want all the certification, all of these things. They want the food to just be healthy and organic, which we already have. So our focus is GCC for now. Thank you.
If there are possible challenges that could prevent this program from working out as planned, it's a very nice initiative, but are there possible challenges that could prevent it from working in Dubai as you envisaged? And if there are such challenges, what are the plans that you've put in place to either forestall them or to manage them when they arise?
We already understand the challenges that Nigeria have with the UAE, and the challenges will always come up, and that is why we are putting this conference together to how can we address these issues. That's why we are talking to the Ministry of Trade, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, MEPC, NIPC, and a lot of financial institutions as well. One of the biggest issues in Dubai right now for exportation, especially from Africans, especially Nigerians, is actually financial mistrust. Oftentimes we complain that, we sent money to a farmer in Nigeria or an exporter in Nigeria and we didn't get our produce. And even some farmers will tell you, see, I sent some produce to Dubai and I didn't get my money. That is why we've now talked to the banks in the UAE And we had the opportunity to talk to the CEO of BOA as well in Dubai. So we want the banks in Nigeria and then the banks in Dubai to actually have some sort of partnership. So when we spoke to some off-takers that, okay, if there is, instead of you paying the farmer directly, if the bank should manage the transactions for you, will you feel comfortable with that? And a lot of the off-takers and even the producers, they said yes. Because that way, if an off-taker pays in Dubai, let's say for, let's say some 1,000 metric tons of ginger, then the banks in Nigeria, they are aware that, okay, this money has been paid. They can even facilitate the transaction for the farmer in Nigeria, and this will also enable them to actually produce and export this product because they know the money is already there in the bank. So all of these challenges will come up, and that is why we are trying to set up branches in different parts of Africa, because basically Greenwich will be playing the role of a facilitator to be able to address the issue that might arise between the Dubai government and then the African government. And that is why we are trying to have as many partnerships as possible to be able to address a lot of issues, legal issues, financial issues, even insurance and whatnot. So we need the cooperation and we need the support of as many. Greenwich can't do it all alone. We need everyone's support on this. Thank you.
I'm Emmanuel today from TMS Farms. So we're basically into commercial processing of small catfish. But among the items I saw while you were displaying, I noticed aquaculture is now captured. So I want to find out if there is a room for, people like us who, process small catfish.
Thank you for the question. For aquaculture, the opportunity is there, but it's not something that we've looked into directly. For the aquaculture, what we are promoting with aquaculture is we are actually promoting it within Africa. This conference is not just Dubai, Africa. We are also promoting intra-African trade. Like what we did in Ghana, we had one of our speakers is an expert in aquaponics and hydroponics. And after the conference in Ghana, a lot of even Nigerian fish farmers were able to talk to him that I want you to develop this technology for me when it comes to aquaponics, aquaculture, and all of that. Because from our own little research, we know that the market is actually huge and it's not tapped yet, like fully. So for Dubai, I can't really give you a figure right now to tell you how big the market is for aquaculture, but I know it's there. But for Africa, for intra-African trade, it's really huge, and I think it's something we can use this platform to explore as well. Thank you.
Thank you, House. Good afternoon. My name is Dili Alabi. I'm of Victory Connection Nigeria Limited, a private company. We are into logistics as well as aggregators. I happen to have had experience in Nigerian Post Authority, haven't worked there before. And I really want to comment on the issue of logistics. And my advice is that we need to be more strict, in working out the strategy, the logistics strategy. The point is we don't seem to be honest in the choice of what competitive advantages are. It may not be the case that we can compete in exporting all these items to Dubai market, the GCC market. As a matter of fact, there are some that I think we can pick up, and some may be a bit tricky at the moment because we don't have established sea lane directly with Nigeria, in between Nigeria and Dubai, as the case may be. Also, I want to cancel that we need to open up our minds and look at other logistic options. Our ports. It's not only the ports in Lagos that are available, we have ports outside Lagos. We have in Warri, we have in Port Harcourt, we have in Calabar, we have in Onne. And of course, we have private terminals all around the country. I'm aware that even with the airline option, there are some airlines that are available and through which we can do some packaging of goods into those places. So I think it's a very comprehensive thing we need to look at, and we also need to adhere to the rules. There are strict rules of doing international business. In conclusion, I really want to advise that there is need to bring in more people, particularly from the position of government, from the government side, to be part of this conversation in future. We have the agricultural quarantine people. I don't know if they are represented here. Of course, customs, there's no denying the fact that they have a key role to play. And the issue of standards is also critical. There are rules that cut across the board all over. There are international rules, those stipulated by ITC, for instance, International Trade Center in Geneva. It is not a local business as it were, and we need to align to those rules. I really want to counsel that we make use of professionals and people who are conversant with how to do this business, the best way to do it. Like I was saying about the aviation route, for instance, I'm aware that we have the opportunity of shipping out up to 4 metric tons of cargo each day. There are some airlines that visit the country and they straddle the other countries along the west coast. They go to Abidjan in Cote d'Ivoire. They go to Ghana, pick cargo, and off they go. I think these are all options that we can look at them and see, what we could do.
Right.
There are baskets of opportunities that we can really explore. Thank you.
Sure, sir.
My name is Oye. I'm from Stanbic IBTC Bank. My question really is to the lady that spoke earlier. I reckon this is the second year of what you're currently doing, and you had the conference last year. I'd just like to understand what has been the impact from what you did previously till date, and how do you measure it?
Thank you, Ian. Basically, like my colleague mentioned, Sola earlier, to be honest with you, Kenya, Ghana, and Uganda, they were the ones that really actually benefited a lot from the last day conference, and Rwanda as well, because they were fully represented by their government. For example, Ghana Export Promotion Authority was there. The CEO was even the one on the stand and talking, to the Dubai government directly. Because one thing Dubai government have told us is government will not talk to private stakeholders. Because we didn't know that we were going to have a conference. It was just from our research for Dubai Chamber of Commerce, and then we started this talk with Dubai Chamber of Commerce. And they called me, Bola, you're crazy. You're not the Nigerian government. I can't have this bilateral discussion with you. So it started as out of passion, basically. So for now, like Ghana Export Promotion, we are setting up a warehouse for them in Dubai already. This was from last year. This conference, and because we were able to also sign an MOU with one of the biggest free zone in Dubai, in UAE, but in Ajman, because they were the one that the conference was held under the patronage of the Sheikh of that free zone, and it's one of the largest free zone in the UAE. And also some coffee from Rwanda. There are some success stories. Even there are some people from Nigeria who actually partnered with some. It's called Uneza Coffee and then Kininu Coffee. So there's this Wells Farms in Nigeria that was able to do something with this coffee and all of that. But like I said, to be honest, if we don't actually work on the fundamental issues, we are just going to do one or two trade, and that is it. Now, let us work on the trade agreement. Let us work on securing what's it called, the financial wahala that the two countries, African and then the GCC or Dubai, they are facing. Let us work on some policies they need to do, because some of the exporters, they complain like, oh, if I want to export even from Nigeria, they will ask, we want this, do this. So a lot of people get discouraged. So if we don't even solve that issue, it's going to be the same story over and over again. So basically, for us going forward is now we understand the issues. How can we solve it? That is why we're also talking to Stanbic, and thankfully Stanbic is on board with the farmers now. They will be like the first bank of a partner with some banks in Dubai to facilitate transaction. So basically, that's been the story so far. And like what the representative from BOE said, this has to be sustainable. And for it to be sustainable, the goal for us is not short term. The goal right now is let us start exporting, but the long-term goal is local industrialization, basically. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Douglas. I want to ask, how do you secure the other farmers apart from the big boys? Because I noticed that when some farmers are cashing out, maybe let me use product like what do you call it, ginger, right? Recently, I heard about the what do you call it? What happened? The prices that fell down, everything crashed, and some of these farmers, they started losing out because some other investors came into the ginger business. Now, my only question is just on security. How do you protect those other smaller farmers? Because they still sell to some of these guys that come from outside. What is going to happen to this kind of farmers so that they can still be afloat and still be doing their farm? Thank you.
Risks in your market risk. There's various types of risks in agricultural production. There's the risk of your yield. When people stumble into defective seedlings, bad fertilizers and all of that, input supplies. So that's what I meant earlier when I said we are working towards standardization. So it's no longer going to be an all-comers affair, because even when you lend and you don't get, the farmer does not get the right yield, there goes your loan. So from the risk point of view, we need to pay attention to standardization. Well, when you spoke about how is a small farmer protected, a lot of the smallholder farmers have been put in under the Anchor Borrowers Program. Under that program, the smallholder farmer is really meant to do what he knows best, which is the primary production, just farm. That's why I said earlier on, what he gets is his labor cost. So all the inputs are paid for directly to the input suppliers. So he's protected in that regard. And secondly, the program is such that the anchor is the off-taker. So they know that whatever they produce, somebody will off-take from them. So in that regard, they are secured, and that's the reason the rice production pilot has been very successful. So they are really producing because there are off-takers. The problem in the past had to do with wastages, because when you produce and you don't have off-takers, at the end of the day, most of it will go to waste. So slowly they reduce production, and slowly that's how production of a lot of our cash crops came to almost zero level, and then that led to rural-urban migration. So we're beyond that again in securing your the market risk and so on. Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation is the place to go. You must insure your farm and your production. So NAIC insures. Every loan we give, we ensure that NAIC insures them. NAIC is also expanding their insurance scope now, because initially it was restricted largely to natural disasters. They really didn't quite cover the aspect of market risk as well as your yield. They didn't quite cover that, but that's what they're doing now, because we need to cover everybody who is in this business to ensure that we encourage them. NASDAQ is also on board now to ensure that they cover the risk, because NASDAQ was set up to de-risk the agricultural lending. So we are all working now in harmony together. So that's still even work in progress. We need to tighten this harmony so that everything starts to work effectively. So as you are going in, you can get your insurance, you can get your guarantees, and so on and so forth. As long as any farmer is doing serious business, going forward, you'll be protected. You have your off-takers, and you can make money. Another thing is for us to standardize, because even if you don't have off-takers and your standard is good, you can export. There are people, even in here, there are lots of multinational agencies that are going into backward integration because of the experience of the last that we had with foreign exchange scarcity. So with that, our growers and smallholder farmers are also guaranteed off-take, no matter what they produce. In fact, they can't even meet the demand. So we are trying to...
Comments that were made, I think there's, there's hope for Nigeria. At the conference today, quite a lot of things and quite a lot of possibilities, new information, talking about the various apps that have been deployed in other climes, even outside Nigeria and within Nigeria. So I think there are things we can look at.